Hello everybody, today is March 22nd, 2023. This is my experiment investing $1 a day in 10 different cryptocurrencies and $1 a day in 55 different dividend stocks. Now you see this dotted white line, this is the start of the day, and you can see it's been constantly going down and it really went down. And you can see over here in the actual 1 week period, it kind of started to go up a little bit, then it went down. We look at the 1 month period and we can see right here it's been constantly going down and down and down and even more down. Look at the 3 month period and we can see January 6th, 2023 is the first time investing in my life. February 20th, 2023 is when it really started to go down and decline. March 11th, 2023 is when the Fed decided to bail out Silicon Valley Bank. March 14th, Credit Suisse decided to go and start to go under. Then they maybe bailed them out and then they were acquired. March 22nd, today is when the Fed decided to hike interest rates by 0.25%. If you enjoyed this content, please feel free to leave me a comment, smash the like button, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be posting a minimum every Monday and every Friday, sometimes Wednesdays. Now, what we're going to talk about today is what happens when you get depressed and or bored. So what I would like to go in and dive into is boredom. If you are bored, you will make mistakes because you all of a sudden start to think of maybe I should change my plan of what I was actually thinking of doing, because I was over here and I was looking at this and I was looking at my stocks and I was seeing they're all, finances, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should change my plan a little bit and actually change it up. And so I went over here and I looked at my profile, and my profile, you can see right here, stocks are at 68%, but my finances are at 34%. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm invested in a lot of different finances and banks and stuff. But if I come over here to tech and media, I was thinking and I was looking at maybe I should invest in Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia. I've always owned Apple computers. I've always owned PC computers and Linux computers. And I've usually like Nvidia graphics cards for my computer gaming. So those three companies kind of stand out to me as pretty solid companies. I looked at them. I did my own research. I'm not giving you financial advice to buy or sell any of your assets. This is just for me and my own personal thinking of maybe these are good. And Warren Buffett, he invested heavily in Apple. And I do believe Apple will still be here regardless of what happens this year. And so I'm over here, trying to fiddle with the idea. Maybe I should come over here. And I was thinking, what if I were to go in and change some investment? I think JP Morgan's still going to be there. They're one of the bigger major banks. But there were a few other banks in here that I have that I'm invested in, such as VNO, or not a bank, but Vornado Realty Trust. I was thinking maybe I should come in here and go into the recurring investment, and in the recurring investment, edit the investment and change it from, instead of every market day, to do it every month. And I was going to take 3 of these different finance ones and change it to every month, and then change them and start investing in tech such as Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia. Now, again, I'm going to hit back on boredom is probably the most biggest things that you shouldn't get yourself involved in, because when you're bored and you're trying to figure out to change things, you make mistakes when you do that. Stick to a plan, stick to a goal, and keep with it. Now, that might still be a good thing to do, but I think I need to actually sleep on it and think on it a little bit more before I jump headfirst in and decide maybe I want to change this plan. Because I still only want to invest the same amount that I have, but I don't know if I want to change it to that significance. Because and the reason why am I thinking of this is when everybody's running away, now's the time to keep going in and stay steady. So right now, even though the price is down, it may be at a discount. I did my research already. I know that these are dividend stocks that I want to invest in and want to keep staying invested in for the longer term. And so now is a good time to maybe double down on myself and think of, okay, I already picked good assets for myself, for my own financial situation. So why would I go and change it up to that level and to that extreme? Stick with it. So again, then I maybe thought, okay, maybe instead of canceling those, maybe I can find a way to save a little bit more money and instead just add those to my profile, such as Apple, Microsoft, and Nvidia, which I really do actually want to invest in, especially Nvidia, because I love graphics cards. But I'll think on that some more, and maybe, leave me a comment down below. Give me your 2 cents. What do you think maybe I should or should not do? Another thing that's been coming into play and that's been going on in the world is for example, and I know there's all this different conflict, and everyone's going to saying do this and do that. And you know what? None of that matters. What matters is to stick to your own plan for yourself and do what's best for you. Don't listen to what everybody else says. Don't even listen to me. Do what's best for you and your finances. I like to tell stories about my life, and maybe you can find inspiration, maybe you can find motivation, maybe it will help you think outside the box of your own little situation of where you're at. If you could take whatever you have and make whatever you have better. So as I was looking and doing my own research and reading in different things, they're saying, okay, well, if you have your money, right, you're getting a paycheck, and if you get paid more money, then you get in a higher tax bracket and all these things. All that matters is if whatever you're making and you're doing well at your job, right? So you may have maybe only gotten a raise, maybe you only got like a 2% raise or 3% raise, or that's normal, or maybe you got a decent raise, you got a 4 or 5% raise. If you only got a small raise from last year, you're still under because inflation is still at 6%. And I know the Fed has been raising interest rates to try to get inflation down, but as of right now, it is affecting people significantly, right? I have a friend who bought a house during COVID when interest rates were basically near zero. And now that interest rates are literally hiking the way up, their land tax and their property tax has shot up significantly. So the payment that they were paying before is not the same as they are now. Plus food costs, gas costs, and everything else. It's only going to get more impactful on people to a point where maybe your finances may not be enough for what you have right now. So now is the time to really start thinking outside the box. What can I do differently? What can I change in my life that's different to increase my finances so that I can actually afford to survive with what is very highly likely coming this year? Banks are crashing. After the banks crash, stock market's going to crash. After the stock market possibly crashes, in a sense, stock market crashes, I mean, like, it just keeps going down. The Fed is definitely going to try to save it no matter what, because a lot of people have their money in it, even though everybody's telling you to do this, do that. Don't listen to them. Listen to yourself. Do your own research. What is best for you and your family? Back in the 2008 crash, I didn't even really know what was going on, but I was financially okay. I was financially fine. And there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people that just are not looking and don't really know or care what's going on in the world. And yeah, you will be fine as long as you're aware and financially aware of your finances and what's going on, and you can afford the food you have. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of play the food game. I like to insinuate this. If you're not feeding yourself and feeding your family, play the food game and make sure you have enough food for you and your family. Then find a place to sleep. Where are you sleeping? Where are you living? Make sure you and your family have a place to actually sleep. Then work on the next game, your job. And if it's not a job, maybe you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're a business owner. However you're making your money, work on that. And then the next step after that is investing and or growing your money. Whatever works for you and how you want to grow your money. But you have to have everything else down in place for yourself. And if you have to make sacrifices, or you have to work more, or you have to do more, those are the things that you have to think of now. And then those that are already financially secure, in a sense that they have enough money, then you have that extra money. That extra money to think of, okay, this year, critical things are happening. A very highly likely possible of a recession. During recessions, huge companies, huge businesses get created during this time, as long as you have a sound business plan and a sound, solid of what you're doing. I don't financially have that right now. I've been trying to think of different plans, such as maybe creating a food business, maybe creating a different type of business, such as selling some of my goods, selling some of my collectibles that I have, all these different things. And I'm trying to think for my own self of what can I do to increase my income and grow, expand further. Now, some of the ideas that I've created for myself right now is obviously here. I'm starting something I've never done before. I've never done YouTube. I've never posted anything on YouTube. I've never created videos. And here I am doing all of that here And thank you for being here and listening to me and listening to my story in my financial journey of investing. And this is the first time I've ever invested in my life as well. And there's that spark of maybe this will do well, maybe it won't. But I have several layers of plans back to back of what will happen and what may happen and how I have it all backed up. Now I'm going to relate again. Some people have maybe seen this video, but I'm going to tell this story again. Okay, how I see the stock market. I see the stock market for myself, for the way I'm doing it, and this is just my own personal opinion. So don't take this as financial advice. But let's say, for example, you go to the arcade, right? And in the arcade, you stick in your 25 cents, you stick in $1, right? And you play your video game. And then you're playing your video game for tickets, right? And then all of a sudden you play and you win your prize, and then you go cash in your prize and you cash out, right? There's some people that do that. Then there's some people that get trash bags worth of arcade tickets, and they take those trash bags worth of arcade tickets and they turn it into the counter. And then after they turn it into the counter, they pick their prize, whether it's a PlayStation, an Xbox, or maybe it's a stuffed animal, whatever it is. You take your prize and you walk away. And you won big. You won great. But then there's those special circumstance people, the people that go above and beyond. They go and they cash in their prizes, right? They get their tickets, they get their Xbox or whatever. Then they take that prize and they sell it off to friends or other things. And then they take some of that profit and they keep it for themselves. And then they reinvest the rest back into playing more video games and winning more tickets. And that's how I see it for myself. If you come over here and you come over to history and you look at my dividends, and you can see right here, I am getting paid dividends. So this is me going to the counter, getting the actual prizes, reselling the prizes, and keeping those prizes for myself and putting them in my pocket. But the main part that I want to insinuate here is when you go to the arcade and you stick your money in the arcade, this money is no longer yours. It's gone. You stuck it in the arcade. You're playing the video game. And if you go and you actually think of this concept that all this money that you put in here is not yours anymore, and you are playing the game, and the game only stops when you decide to stop playing, that's another way to think of the stock market. And then another point that I put in too as well is you got to think of taxes. You have day traders, and then you have investors. I am trying to be an investor. I am trying to stay steadfast. But like I said, boredom or trying to find ways to trick yourself and to do something different from a solid plan that I already have in place, just invest for the long term. I've only been doing this for a little over 2 months. And already I'm trying to think of ways to change my plan when I'm like, wait, I've already done my research. Why should I be changing it up to that such an extreme? But I also have to think of things do and have to change sometimes. And that's where you rebalance what you have. Because what they say, according to my research, do your own research, is you should only have around 20% in each category so that each one checks and balances itself. But I think right now, personally, how things are going, it's not going to matter huge and significantly how things go. But I do want to get my finances under at least 30%. And the way to do that is just how your money moves and put it into other things. Tech is definitely something I'm highly interested in, as well as manufacturing and materials. But now that I'm thinking about it and I'm actually talking about it here for myself, manufacturing and materials might actually be a better thing that outcomes in the future of how everything is playing out. So I may change my plan. I'm going to think on it. I'm going to really think about it, decide a little bit later, probably not tonight. But I wanted to make sure that, I have a solid plan of what I am doing. Another thing I want to point out and I want to put in is if you are working extremely hard right now, right? And you're trying and you're scared and maybe things are not going so well for you in your life and you're afraid you're going to lose your job. Well, think outside the box again and think of skills that you have that other people may or may not have. And when I say think about skills you may or may not have, I literally say think about yourself and start planning out and writing down your skills and what you'll be interested in doing the next step. Because we have no idea what's going to happen this year. with the Fed still increasing interest rates, with banks going under, at least 2 million jobs this year, people will lose their job, right? In the US, in America. So think about your own skills. For myself, I think of, okay, I've been a cook. I still know how to cook. I've been an electrician. I'm a certified electrician still. I know how to do tech. I know how to fix computers. I know how to repair computers. I know how to be a farmer. I have many different skills in many different areas. And with those skills, no matter what happens, have a backup plan to your plan. And maybe it is maybe it is, you don't want to work. Maybe you want to sit and wait for things to blow over. Make sure your finances are in place so that you can feed yourself and you have a place to sleep. And you have a source of income some way, and then make sure that you have a way to grow that income that you have in some way. That is true knowledge. That is looking toward the future of what is happening. Everybody's gonna, if you're looking online, you're watching these videos, you're reading your books, everybody's gonna tell you all these different things. You watch the news, they're telling you. None of that really matters. All of it, just take it as information for yourself. Look internally toward yourself and think about, what can I do for me? Have a plan. And remember, don't get bored. So find a hobby that you enjoy doing. For me, it's video games. And I literally took this whole step, and I had to take a step back here because I was over here trying to focus, and I'm spending hours and hours trying to write up a script or write up a different thing for my YouTube videos. Now I'm literally just talking. I'm not even reading off of anything. I'm just going with the flow because that's how it works better for me as of right now. Now you can tell me feel free to leave me a comment and let me know if you like it this way, you don't like this way, this resounds with you. I am literally, all my bloopers, everything is just one in one recording. I literally was nitpicking at every little thing. I started to record multiple different videos, and I was trying to make everything as perfect as I could be, and I was just like, you know what, it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to turn out the way that I want it to. I started writing scripts and trying to read them from the scripts and follow these flashcards or whatever, and you know what, that just doesn't work for me. And so hopefully this resounds with people, and this makes more sense. If you like this content, please feel free to leave me a comment, smash the like button, don't forget to subscribe, and we will catch you all in the next video. Thank you so much.